Ladies and gentlemen, know what Vladimir Putin's special envoy just delivered while on the ground American. It's very, very serious. No, he exposed the Americans. He exposed the Americans. He exposed the time. Even in Donald's own camp, Trump, people are applauding. People are very happy with this speech. I tell you, none Russian never spoke like he just did talk. For all those who had followed the conference, I announced it to you here that despite the sanctions, just the sanctions that were taken yesterday by Donald Trump the next day, he is Vladimir's special envoy, Putin. That is the director of direct investments that have been made in New York. He was invited. He was received. It makes NATO angry. It makes people angry, Europe. Many people said to themselves, well, obviously Donald Trump is trying to negotiate. What are these sanctions for? Even in the Republican camp, some came out to denounce comes to do in New York. It's a way to circumvent sanctions since it came in a frame economic of what he calls the neutral economy. They have some aspects of economic cooperation with Russia, which are not concerned by sanctions. However, it is Russia herself who is sanctioned globally. But that's not what we're talking about. Let's talk. The gentleman has just put naked the secret of the Americans, why the war in Ukraine cannot not stop and it continues. I am talking to you, or we are talking about the investment director of the investment fund director, direct from Russia. First he speaks, he leaves there from unofficially since America wanted to hide his arrival a little because that America had recently ended to sanction Russia. But it doesn't stop there. It is he who speaks publicly to speak for no. He filed the Americans. Or let's go deep, you go see. I will first see as many as possible sharing. Must share it in all groups possible. Share. Put a lot of likes. Let's go. Visiting the United States of America, Vladimir Putin's special envoy, Kirill Dmitriev, publicly denounced those who call for the continuation of the war. This is what he said. He said, those who call for the continuation of the war in Ukraine, they are linked to economic interests colossal. All those who say no, Ukraine must defend its sovereignty. No, war must continue. Kirill Dmitriev, he says that all of them, these are linked to colossal interests. And he gave figures. It's a financier. He is not a politician as such. He gave figures, names of companies too, Americans who have benefited from an explosion of their income since 2022, the start of the conflict, Russo-Iranian. Let's go. Let's go. I'll see lots of shares. I'll see lots of sharing. He said this. He said, this conflict brings in billions for some Western while it destroys human lives. So while this conflict destroys human lives, it pays off, brings in billions to Western conglomerates. He will quote them. The list will be given. So says the defense industries, therefore, in these words, its implicit target there. He did not quote clearly in his words. We feel that he is targeting implicitly the industries of American defense. You know, most donations America brought such aid, such number of weapons to Ukraine. America don't buy elsewhere. It's with the American industries, American military. So the American defense industries, the hedge funds for energy and post-war reconstruction groups are designated as the real beneficiaries of the conflict. They are the ones who benefit. American defense industries, the energy hedge funds, the post-war reconstruction groups, the other side. So Moscow exposes the hidden engine of war, money, not morality. And so Moscow is moving towards another form of diplomatic offensive, well calculated with the strategic objective of show to public opinion American than their government finances a war that enriches a elite. This is the approach that Kirill Dmitry had to start. This is what he started. Show obviously to public opinion, American people, to the American people, that the government finances a war that enriches an elite. So he says in his words, we feel that when he made the proposal, when he pronounced, there were several groups that are united. So that is to say, there was an on-site reception of what he said. Several American think tanks have confirmed that Dmitri's speech Kirill finds an echo even in the Republican circles. What he said there, many groups' reflections have confirmed that people agree with it. It's one aspect that many had not understood, or although he neglected, they agree with. So Russia hits where it hurts. It's Russia striking in America's portfolio and the conscience of his people. It means if you want the war stops, it's not us. The fault is not ours. But this are your governments that do not want not that the war stops, because they have industries, lobbies, groups that enrich themselves through this war. And the people who take awareness of this will revolt against its leaders. And what's curious is that it's on American soil itself that he does this speech, this October 24th, 2025. So the underside of money and power, what's going on concretely with Industries American? What are the figures? How many of these industries win in the war? The main winners, we have Lockheed Martin, we have Raytheon, we have Northrop Grumman. It's three who are the arms giants. According to statistics, these three who are the giants of American arms saw their profits explode from 35% to 50% since 2022. Their profit has increased from 35% to 50%. So every prolongation of the war opens new delivery contracts, and the delivery contracts, that's them in riches. So the delivery contracts are paid by the budget's public and Ukrainian debts. And in the end, it's blackmail. Everything stopping the war would mean that billions of losses, that would be billions of losses and thousands of jobs that will be trampled on in these companies. That's why these companies lobby. They don't want the war to end. Here is the courage and audacity of the envoy that Vladimir Putin's special envoy had. So thank you all. Thank you for sharing the conference. I come back later with news. It was the voice of your humble servant, the Samurai.